All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we go. Week 12, almost at the playoffs. We have our first clinched playoff spot, so that's pretty exciting. We have a big tie there for some of those big or the bottom playoff spots. So it's getting interesting. It's getting close. It's tightening up here a little bit. So we'll see how this week's matchups bring it closer together for next week, or maybe further away for people. There's not much time left, so the bottom guys might be a little out, but you never know. A couple wins in a row might sneak in. So let's move on. Let's hit up the standings here. So first place we have Ty at 9-2. 2 wins in a row. You can see the little asterisk by the number 1 there. It means he's clinched a playoff spot. So the worst he can finish, based on 3 games left, looks like about 5th place, so should be a good spot for Ty. Next up, we have Jeremy and Dave and Richard at 7-4. Sorry, I thought it was just 2. I didn't realize it was all 3. So we got the 3 of them tied at 7-4. Jeremy is way in front with a nice big 80-point cushion there, or 90-point cushion there, 4 points for. And Richard's the bottom end guy down there in 4th with about 140 points behind Dave. So Richard's probably going to be the bottom out of that group going forward. But hey, if he keeps winning, he'll move ahead of those guys. Jeremy's lost 2 in a row there, where Dave and Richard are just 1 apiece. Alone in 5th place is Tom at 6-5. He lost last week, but not doing too bad. Next, we have a 4-way tie for 5 and 6. So only 3 of these teams currently are sitting in a playoff spot. So you have this guy worked his way up from 0-4 to 5 and 6. Top of the 5 and 6 group with 1770 in points. Got a nice 40-point cushion over Dallas there. And Dallas has got about a 30-point cushion over Rob, who's got a 65%. No, sorry, over the Buddies, who's got a 65-point cushion over Rob. So currently, Rob's the low man out, but if he gets a few wins, he'll do okay. Looking at that group there, I have 2 wins in a row, so slowly moving up. Hopefully, I can make it 3 in a row and get back to 500, get to 500 for the first time this year, which would be awesome and would feel good. Next, we have Jen alone in 10th place at 4-7. She lost last week, so she pretty much has to win out here for a chance at the playoffs. And our bottom 2 guys there, Wayne finally got a win after 8 or 9 in a row. No, 7 in a row losses. 8 in a row? I forget. Moving back to 3 and 8. Or moving to 3 and 8. And Sunil has now lost 4 in a row. After, going 0-4, getting to 3 and 4. He's now down to 3 and 8. So it's definitely been a roller coaster ride for Sunil. But he's not quite out of it. His points for is really low, so that might not help him out. Him and Wayne and Jen, the only way they can get in is if they win all their matchups. So we'll see what it brings. Not too much exciting there. Looks like I said, mine's the biggest streak on the positive side with Ty at 2 wins. And Sunil with the 4 losses in a row. We did have a trade this week. I'm just going to call up my transactions here. I'll post it on your screen. So we had a trade that occurred on Tuesday morning. There it is. And what it was is Sunil and Richard traded players, Mike Williams and AJ Brown, but also included a bunch of draft picks. I don't know if they discussed it beforehand and then it just got input wrong, or the understanding of what they were doing for the draft picks was incorrect. So when they made the original trade, like we said, we got rid of veto, so I wasn't going to say, hey, no, that's not fair, that's not my job. If these 2 guys agreed to it, that's how it is. I'm not going to, question it. Yeah, we could question AJ Brown could be hurt on Sunday and Richard's screwed, right? So you don't know. But after discussion, it was figured out that the draft picks were flip-flopped. So Richard and Sunil on, was it Wednesday? Yeah, it looks like Wednesday reversed the trade and got the draft, not reversed the whole trade, just reversed the draft picks and moved them around so they were properly with the right person. So yeah, so that's kind of an explanation what happened there. Definitely a good trade for Richard, getting AJ Brown, Sunil getting a second round pick. Will be good for him. Can keep whoever he wants and have an extra second. Richard must be happy with his keepers to be able to give away a second round pick. But hey, that's what you do when you go for it, right? You got to take your chance. Okay, now let's get back to the matchups. As always, I start with my own. So this week I am playing Richard. He was originally favored by almost 6 points, 135 to 140 there. After last night's snow game, I got a couple extra points over projected, and now it's pretty much even. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm a little worried about my running backs, as always. So we'll see. I do like my team this week. I think Waddle's a little low. I think you'll see a little bit more from that Miami offense as each week goes by. It's a home game. It's supposed to be sunny, so maybe that'll be good. Hoping for more from Tank Dell. It's in a dome this week, right? So good things. Wandell I'm nervous on, but we'll see what happens now that Daniel Jones has been released. Lovin Gibbs. Akers I think will have a good week. I'm hoping Disley wasn't a 1 week wonder. Always like Big Montana. He's a good tight end, a lot of injuries, but we'll hope for the best. And then of course in my kicker and defense down there at the bottom showing my points. And Jigba's been really good for Richard lately. Jameson Williams is coming on. Jacobs is playing good, but they got San Francisco this week. Walker's playing Arizona, could be okay. Andrews is hit or miss. Pittman Jr., who knows? Looks like the other receivers are more the favorite. And then now with AJ Brown on his team. You know me, I don't like picking myself. I think I might sneak this one out, but I think Richard's going to win. I'm going to take Richard to move up to 8-4, bump me down to 5-7, and make it rough for me to make the playoffs. But a couple weeks left, and we'll see what happens. Next matchup we have on the docket here is the buddies Jay and Adam versus Dave, who's 7-4. Dave's got a rough week with bye week, so he was originally projected to lose by about 10 points, and with last night's game, Judy getting some nice points and some struggles by Tillman, there's about a 20-point favor now for the buddies. So, as I said, Dave's in some bye trouble. He's got Shakir, Adams, Kamara, Davis, Herbert, all on bye this week. So, I don't know how many of them he would have put in there. Kamara and Adams, probably Shakir for sure. So that's tough there. The buddies has, Keenan Allen. We'll see how Caleb does this week. Debo. What can you say? Williams, H. and Otten have been fantastic. But, the buddies have been losing. So they're good players. They're just not working out for them the last couple of weeks. I think due to Dave and his bye week situation. It's always tough when there's 6 teams on bye. So I think the buddies are going to sneak this one out, move to 500, and Dave will drop to 7-5. Okay. Next, we have Jeremy versus Rob. Both teams had nobody playing yesterday. So the projection still about 24 points in Jeremy's favor. Rob's got some players on bye. He's got the Jacksonville guys, Ingram's, ETN on bye. Mooney, who's been a top receiver this year, is on bye, so that hurts. But Jeremy's got Breece Hall on bye. So that's pretty big, right? That's his top running back there. So yeah, if Javonte Williams has a decent game, that could be a good rebound. Bowers has been good, but Denver defense has been tough. The Vikings seem to struggle in Chicago, so I'm hoping while Akers is good for me, that Jones struggles. But the Vikings win, of course. Metcalf, Flowers, Jefferson are all money players. and Daniels has been outstanding. So I'm going to give this one over to Jeremy. Jeremy will move to 8 and 4. Sorry. And Rob will drop to 5 and 7. Okay, next up here is a big one for Dallas to play against Wayne. Dallas is part of that big 5 and 6 group, along with myself and Rob. So he needs a win here, and he's currently favored by, according to this, 60 points. Wayne's got some guys on bye he needs to figure out. Like currently, as you'll see on your screen there, he's got Allen and London in. On his bench, he's got Baker Mayfield, so that add in about another 20 points. He's got a couple of receivers he could slot in there for about 7 or 8 points. So we'll say 35 extra points puts Wayne at roughly like 145-ish is going to be my guess. Well, Dallas is at 161 now with Chubb getting 2 touchdowns yesterday. Yeah, I mean, Wayne's got McConkney, got Barkley, who've all been fantastic lately. Dallas has Darnold, who may struggle in Chicago. Puka, Collins Hill. I got some great receivers right there. Evans can do Evans things this week. That'll be huge, having him back. Kittle didn't play last week, but he's still questionable for this week. Honestly, I don't see Wayne coming close in this one. I think it might be closer to the 60 points it is right now without those 2 players in there. And I think Dallas is going to take this one, move to 6 and 6, and close the gap on my points 4 lead on him. All right, a couple more to go here. I'll try and finish up quick. We have Ty versus Tom. Like I said, Ty's already clinched a playoff spot, but I know he wants that first place, play 8th. And Tom is trying to, move up the standings there, maybe get in that big group just ahead of him. Originally, it was pretty dead even after last night. Ty had, I think, like 5 guys going. So now Tom's got a projected win by about 4 points. So Ty had Pickens, Elijah Moore, Jaylen Warren, Najee Harris, and Pittsburgh D going. Averaged roughly just over 10 points a player to get 51 points there yesterday. So quite a bit down from projected. I know it's only about 4, but Pickens was down a bit. Moore was down a couple. Harris, he was probably hoping for a little bit more out of there. Warren going over projection made up a bit of a difference there, but I think Ty was definitely hoping for more points out of last night's games. Tom seems pretty good. Mahomes is playing better. Addison's doing well. Henry, the snow's flying now, so he's probably going to hit full stride right away, getting 30 points every game. I think Tom is going to win this game. I think slow start there for Ty is going to definitely help Tom. I think it'll be a little higher than the 140 points, maybe like 160-ish to about 140 is my guess. But I think Tom's going to take the victory there. All right, last matchup we have here. As I said before, but if these teams want a chance, they got to win all their games. Well, here's a good opportunity for the both of them. We got Jen versus Sunil, battle of just out of the playoffs. So whoever wins this one definitely will help them push for that last playoff spot. Currently, Sunil is favored to win by roughly 10 points. It was originally 15, but Freiermuth had a good game. 4 receptions for about 60 yards. Ford got about predicted there. So, I like Goff a little better than Murray, but I like McLaurin better than Downs. Mixon's been phenomenal, so that'll kind of cancel out McCaffrey, I think, and White was better than Pollard in my mind. I like the players who are in Jen's receiver spots better than Sunil's. I like Sunil's flex spots better than I like Jen's flex spots. I think getting rid of AJ Brown, Sunil's kind of gotten to the idea that he's not going to win anything this year, make the playoffs, so maybe take the pick. Where Jen is just holding on. Really, she's only the one win out other than the points for. I think Jen's team's actually going to win this one. I think that might be the first time I picked her team to win all year. I'd have to go back and check the recordings, but I'm going to take Jen to pull off this upset and beat Sunil to come to 5-7 and Sunil to drop to 3-9. That's all the games there. As I mentioned, I threw a little bit of conversation at the end of the last video. Richard was the only one who responded. So yeah, I am going to throw it in the chat eventually, but I think I'm going to get rid of 2 spots, do that bump up like we did before when we got rid of kicker and defense. But I'm going to keep kicker and defense because they're still fun to have in there. So yeah, so we're going to do that. I think I'm going to throw it in there, see what you guys think, but I think that's what we should do. As for anything else, we can continue to discuss if you like. But quick recap on all the matchups. Even though I think I might win, I'm going to take Richard to win this week. I think the buddies are going to beat Dave because Dave's on the Bipocalypse. I think Jeremy is going to beat Rob. I say Dallas will beat Wayne. Tom to beat Ty and Jen to beat Sunil. So that's week 12. My guess is after week 14, for the first week of the playoffs, I'm going to put together my picks for the regular season, see how I did. I'm probably below 50%, probably like 40. I don't know. I'm just going by gut, right? Like, I can't even win a week half the time. So, we'll see. So that'll be a little fun thing to add at the end of the season. Then I'll do another one of the playoffs and do a full season recap at the end. So have a great weekend, everybody. Good luck in your matchups, other than you, Richard. And we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.